Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mary, and today's video is going to be a book and bullet journal supplies haul. So I have a couple new books that I started acquiring this book haul back in November. So a lot of these are books that I got in November and December. Some of them I showed it in a vlog, so I will link my Reindeer Readathon vlogs because I did show anything that I got during that period of time in those vlogs, but I just wanted to show them to you as well. I'm also going to discuss briefly whether I've read them or not, and then I just wanted to do a quick little update on my bullet journal haul because there's not too many books for me to haul, but it has been a couple months, so I just want to get it out of the way. First and foremost, in November, I went to a record store slash bookstore, like used bookstore in Dallas, Texas called Josie's Records. And they have Josie's locations in Kansas City as well, and then probably in other places. But the original one is in Dallas. And so my parents live in the Dallas area, so I thought I would stop by and see, because they were supposed to have a lot of books at this one, and they really did. So I just want to show you the 4 books that I picked up while I was there. I got Uncommon Type by Tom Hanks, which is a collection of short stories. And I've been wanting to read this for a while. I think I do want to still pick this up via audio, just because Tom Hanks narrates it, and I love Tom Hanks, so I would love to hear him narrate his own stories. I'm not sure if these are autobiographical. I don't think they are. I think they're stories. So I'm really excited to read this one. It's been on my, want to read for quite some time now. I also picked up Noman by Nick Harkaway, which is a science fiction book. And I don't really know that much about what this is about, but I feel like I've heard rave reviews of it, and I think it's a little bit high level speculative, and by that I mean not fully explained, and so it's just sort of you have to accept that this is what's happening. I think this is a dystopian novel where you're not fully sure what's going on, but I don't exactly know what the plot of this one is, but I had just heard of it when I saw it in the store, and I was like, you know what? Kismet. I also have The Switch by Beth O'Leary, which I believe this is a contemporary romance set in England, and one of the characters is an older woman, and another character is a young woman in her 20s who lives in London, and they switch lives. Or it's kind of like The Holiday, where they go to each other's houses and live in each other's communities, and I don't know if they switch jobs and stuff too. I'm not really sure the extent of the switch, and I'm assuming there's some sort of romance involved because I believe Beth O'Leary primarily writes romantic adjacent books. And then I have Big Summer by Jennifer Weiner, and I, again, about this one, don't really know that much about what it's about. So this book follows 2 former best friends, 8 years after they had a really big falling out, and one of the friends is getting married and wants the other friend to be her maid of honor, even though they haven't spoken in 10 years or something. So I'm really excited to read this at some point. This is something that I'm definitely saving for when I'm going to be needing something to just leaf through and enjoy, if that makes sense. Perhaps I'll save it for summer. And now I have a couple books that I picked up at a Goodwill near me. There's just 4 of them. One, I will just introduce the naked hardback first. This is A Girl Like That by Tanaz Bathina, who I believe is a Saudi Arabian author, but I could be wrong about that. And I believe this book is YA contemporary set in Saudi Arabia. And it follows, I think, the aftermath of some sort of car crash or some sort of car accident, perhaps. But also, I think there's a dual timeline with the, before the accident occurs. And it's either a friendship or a romance between 2 characters. You can see I don't know very much about this, but I heard of this a couple years ago. I don't really read that much contemporary set in, the Middle East. I don't really read contemporary that's not set in the US and Canada and England. So I wanted to read something that wasn't historical fiction set somewhere else, if that makes sense. I also picked up Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater, which is the first in the Wolves of Mercy Falls series, which is a series of YA fantasies following this group of boys who are also werewolves or shapeshift into wolves, I believe. And I think I've read this before, but I would have been 13. So I don't really remember, but it sounds familiar to me. And there's this one book that I remember reading and really liking and feeling like it ended on a cliffhanger, but for whatever reason, I never picked up the next one in that series, and I don't even remember what that series was. So if it's this, I'm really excited to read this one and then probably get the rest from the library and just binge through them really quick. Then I also got The Witches by Roald Dahl from that Goodwill, which is like a chapter book, I'm pretty sure. I'm excited to read this sometime around Halloween, spooky season. I feel like there's always a readathon going on around that time, and of course this is like big print and a short book, so it'll be quick to get through for a readathon. And it's just, I haven't really read any Roald Dahl, but I feel like he's like a classic author for children, so I would like to. And then I have Cutting for Stone by Abraham Verghese, and I'm just going to read you the back. Marion and Shiva Stone are twin brothers born of a secret union between a beautiful Indian nun and a brash British surgeon. Orphaned by their mother's death and their father's disappearance, bound together by a preternatural connection and a shared fascination with medicine, the twins come of age as Ethiopia hovers on the brink of revolution. Moving from Addis Ababa to New York City and back again, Cutting for Stone is an unforgettable story of love and betrayal, medicine and ordinary miracles, and two brothers whose fates are forever intertwined. I love sibling relationships in books, so I'm very excited to read this book about brothers. And I feel like I've just heard a bunch of people talk about this. There might be a movie adaptation that I've seen. I think this was like a really popular book to read when my sisters were in high school, because I think they've both read this. I don't know if they read it for school or just because it was like the thing, but again, I saw it at Goodwill and was like, I've definitely heard of that. People have read that. I would like to read it. Next, I have two books that I actually got from bookshop.org. I've given the spiel every time, but bookshop.org is an online platform that independent bookstores can sign up through, so you can buy books from this online resource, but some of the money goes to an independent bookstore near you, if that makes sense. So I first picked up We Can Only Save Ourselves by Allison Wisdom. I'm not going to go too far into depth of what this one is. It's kind of about cults and the aftermath of a cult on suburbia, but I did talk about this in my 5-star predictions wrap-up, so I'll link that video for you in case you care. And the other book I got off of bookshop.org is Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman, which is the second book in the Scythe series, which essentially follows this dystopian world where death has been eradicated, but in order to control the population, there are these beings or people, they're people who are trained for a job called scythes. And they're the only people who are allowed to kill other people, but it's called gleaning, because otherwise people just live forever. So it's very interesting little series. I finished the second book yesterday, and I'm planning on continuing the series, hopefully in February, so stay tuned. And then the last 3 books that I've gotten recently were all purchased this year. So these are the first 3 books that I bought this year, but I've also read all of them already because I bought them to talk about for my favorite books of the year. And because something that I really like about owning books is that I can loan them out. So that's like my purpose for buying some books that I consider favorites. So I got Letters to the Lost by Bridget Kemmerer, The Recovering by Leslie Jameson, and The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward. I bought all of these off of Barnes & Noble. I'm not going to go too far into depth on what any of these are about because I do have a video where I discuss in depth what they're about and what I like about each of them. So I'll just link that for you in case you care, because all 3 of these made my best books of 2021. Now I'm going to talk about some of the bullet journaling supplies that I've purchased. Most of these things I've gotten on Etsy. I did get some of them on Amazon, and I also got something on, or just from a craft store near me. So you can probably get it at your local like Joann's or Hobby Lobby, stuff like that. But first and foremost, I wanted to talk about markers. If you saw my bullet journal with me video to set up my reading journal for 2022, I will link it if you haven't seen it. But you will see that I use these crayons, or not crayons, these markers, which are the Crazy Art Super Tips. There's 50 of them. I also, upon recommendation, I thought those were a different brand, which I'm sure the brand doesn't matter. I'm just saying I was recommended to get these, which are the Crayola Super Tips. And this is the 100 color pack. So I thought this is what I had purchased when I purchased that. You definitely don't need to buy both of these. It's sort of like pick your poison. If you want like 100 colors as opposed to just 50 colors, this one might be right for you. But my plan is to use those until the colors that I use the most often sort of dry up and then move into these. I should not have bought them both at the same time, but I did. So, and these I ended up having to get off of Amazon because they were sold out everywhere near me. Also off of Amazon, I bought this Starry Colors Gold Watercolor. I've seen a bunch of creators use watercolor like this, and it really is pretty. I use this also in that video that I just referenced, but I'm planning on using this in every spread this year to try to have gold be my like tie-through color. So I really like this. I think it's very pretty. And now moving to some things that I've got off of Etsy shops. I will link all of the Etsy shops down below, but this first package that I have to show you is tarot themed stickers that I got from Odd Mix Market. These are the tarot stickers. There is the Fool. That's so stupid. I don't know why I did that. Okay. The Lovers. Judgment. And then there was also the Moon, but I used that in my journal. I didn't show it, but I'll show it during my flip through at some point. I can't remember how much these stickers cost, but again, I will link the Etsy shop and the specific listing down below if I can find it. Next up, I bought some old paper. So I got this one, and it's anatomy sheets. And they look like this. So I got all of this to use in my journal if I ever want to do like scrapbooking spreads, or I can't remember what that's called. But I do have all of this paper in here. On the same vein of decorative papers, I also bought this, which is a roll of Handmade marbled paper. It's a bigger roll than I anticipated, but this is from Sustain and Heal, which is an eco fair trade paper for planet and people. So I'll link this down below as well. I got it off of Etsy, and it's just this really pretty gold, gray, and like taupe, I guess, marbled paper. Then last but not least, I got a mystery pack of stickers, and I will link this shop down below as well. I think it's like 100 stickers, and it was like $10. So there's all sorts of random stuff in here. The risky run with this is that there are a lot of stickers in here that I don't intend on using. So that kind of sucks. But there are also like themed random sticker packs. So you could pay, I think it's a little bit more, but you get like a curated like stars and moons theme, or a curated like fairy theme or something, like whatever you're into. So I'm trying to think of ways that I can use all of these, and maybe some of these stickers will like inspire themes that I try to go for. But that's it. Those are some of the supplies that I've gotten from Etsy, Amazon, and Hobby Lobby, basically, for my bullet journal. Those are some books that I've recently acquired. Some of these you will have seen have gone on my 2022 owned TBR, so I need to cut that number in half, but I did include the books that I purchased but hadn't hauled yet in that video, because I do want it to be an accurate count of every book that I owned and hadn't read January 1st of 2022. So thanks so much for watching this video. If you made it to this point, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to comment down below. Maybe comment down below the last book you hauled, just for fun. Just for fun. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like it if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me, because I do post 2 new videos every single week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!